A visit to Grandma's house. 1. The plan to visit Grandma. It was Friday afternoon, and the Smith family was getting ready for a special weekend. They were going to visit Grandma at her house in the countryside. Jack and Lily were excited because they loved spending time with their grandma. "Are we going to Grandma's house tomorrow?" Lily asked as she helped her mom, Emily, pack a small suitcase. "Yes, we are," Emily replied with a smile. "Grandma called earlier today and said she's baking her famous apple pie for us." Jack grinned. "I love Grandma's apple pie. It's the best." John, their dad, came into the room with the car keys in his hand. "Everything is packed and ready to go. We'll leave early tomorrow morning." The kids couldn't wait. A weekend at Grandma's house always meant good food, fun stories, and lots of love. 2. The drive to the countryside. The next morning, the Smith family got into the car and started their drive to Grandma's house. The road took them through the countryside, where the fields were green and the trees swayed gently in the wind. "Look at all the farms," Jack said, pointing out the window. "I can see cows and horses." Lily leaned over to see. "Wow, the countryside is so peaceful. It's so different from the city." Emily smiled from the front seat. "That's why Grandma loves living here. She says the fresh air and quiet make her feel happy." As they drove, the kids talked about all the fun things they would do at Grandma's house, playing in her garden, helping her with the animals, and, of course, eating her delicious homemade meals. After a few hours, they arrived at Grandma's house. It was a small, cozy cottage with a big garden full of flowers and vegetables. Grandma was waiting for them on the porch, waving and smiling. 3. Arriving at Grandma's house. "Welcome, welcome," Grandma called out as the Smith family got out of the car. She gave everyone a big hug. "I'm so happy to see you all." "We're happy to see you too, Grandma," Jack said, hugging her back. "And we can't wait to try your apple pie." Lily ran to the garden. "Grandma, your garden looks beautiful. Can we help you pick some vegetables later?" "Of course, dear," Grandma said, smiling. "There's plenty of work to do in the garden, and I could use your help." Inside the house, the smell of freshly baked apple pie filled the air. The kitchen was warm and cozy, and Grandma had set the table with plates and glasses, ready for lunch. "Before we eat, why don't we take a walk around the garden?" Grandma suggested. "The weather is so nice today." The family agreed, and they all went outside to explore the garden together. 4. Exploring the garden. Grandma's garden was full of colorful flowers, tall trees, and rows of vegetables like tomatoes, carrots, and lettuce. There was even a small chicken coop where Grandma kept a few chickens. "Can we feed the chickens?" Jack asked, excited. "Sure," Grandma said. "Let's give them some corn." Jack and Lily laughed as the chickens ran over to eat the corn they threw. The chickens clucked happily, and the kids enjoyed watching them peck at the ground. "I love coming to Grandma's house," Lily said, smiling. "It's always so much fun." Grandma showed them her favorite part of the garden, a large apple tree in the corner. The branches were full of red, juicy apples. "This tree has been here since your mom was a little girl," Grandma said. "It's where I get the apples for my famous pie." After exploring the garden, the family went back inside for lunch. 5. Lunch and stories. Grandma had prepared a delicious lunch of homemade sandwiches, fresh salad from her garden, and, of course, apple pie for dessert. The family sat around the table, enjoying the meal and talking about old memories. "Do you remember when we used to come here in the summer?" Emily asked her children. "Grandma would take me on long walks around the countryside." "I remember," Grandma said, laughing. "We would pick wildflowers and make flower crowns." John smiled. "And the sunsets here are beautiful. We should go for a walk after dinner to see the sunset." After lunch, Grandma told the kids stories about when she was young. She talked about growing up in the countryside, going to school in a small village, and the adventures she had with her brothers and sisters. "You're so lucky to live in such a beautiful place, Grandma," Jack said, listening carefully. Grandma smiled. "I think so too. And I'm even luckier to have all of you visit me." 6. Helping in the garden. In the afternoon, Jack and Lily helped Grandma in the garden. They picked ripe tomatoes, pulled up carrots, and watered the flowers. It was hard work, but they enjoyed spending time outside in the fresh air. "Look at all these vegetables," Lily said, holding up a basket full of carrots. "We're going to have a big dinner tonight." "You're both great helpers," Grandma said proudly. "I couldn't have done it without you." Jack smiled. "It's fun to help out. I like working in the garden." After finishing their work, the family sat down in the backyard to relax. The sun was starting to set, and the sky turned orange and pink. "This is the perfect day," Emily said, leaning back in her chair. "I love spending time with family." 7. A special evening. As the evening came, the family gathered around the fireplace inside Grandma's house. The air was cool, and the warmth from the fire felt cozy and comforting. "Let's roast marshmallows," Jack suggested. Grandma laughed. "That sounds like a great idea." They spent the evening roasting marshmallows, talking, and laughing together. Grandma told more stories, and Jack and Lily shared what they had been learning at school. "I'm so glad we came to visit," John said, smiling at Grandma. "It's always wonderful to spend time with you." Grandma nodded. "It's been such a special day. I love having my family here." Before bed, Grandma brought out a special surprise, a handmade quilt she had been working on for weeks. "I made this for you, Lily," Grandma said, handing her the quilt. "I thought you would like it." Lily's eyes lit up. "Wow, Grandma, it's beautiful. Thank you so much." The quilt was soft and colorful, with patterns of flowers and animals. It was the perfect gift to remember the visit. 8. Saying goodbye. The next morning, it was time for the Smith family to say goodbye to Grandma and head back home. Jack and Lily were sad to leave but promised they would come back soon. "Thank you for everything, Grandma," Lily said, hugging her tightly. "We had the best time." Jack nodded. "And your apple pie was delicious, as always." Grandma smiled and hugged them both. "I'm so glad you came. Please come back soon, and we'll have more adventures together." As the Smith family drove away, they waved goodbye to Grandma, who stood on the porch, smiling and waving back. The drive home was quiet and peaceful, and Jack and Lily talked about all the fun they had. They couldn't wait to visit Grandma again and make more special memories.